The Archetype Files, the spy villain archetype. There is a dangerous quaintness that comes with the spy villain, a fun, comedic foil to the stern and serious spy hero. We talked a little about how characters like James Bond embody the player archetype and a certain toxic masculinity. The spy villain very much mirrors that. With the spy villain, everything has to be big, bold, and of course, exaggerated. They can't have a simple tank to drown their foes in. Oh no, they need a shark or piranhas or even the occasional jellyfish, as is the case in the Alex Rider series. They need something large to assert their dominance over the protagonists, who are often quieter and more controlled. The spy villain represents everything society ostracizes. Often disabled, visibly scarred, or queer-coded, these villains are turned into jokes. We know their elaborate plans are doomed to fail, yet we are always left with a sense of dread that they won't. Whenever a character is laying on a table with a laser edging its way towards them, we wince. We play along, because we know, just as they do, that it's all an elaborate game. They know society doesn't accept them for who they are, or their ideas, so they ramp it up, turn those fears against society. If we see them as the bad guy, why shouldn't they give us the show we want? Spy villains often have complex to downright ridiculous backstories that lead them to where they are. It's a silly example, but Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb embodies this trope perfectly. Every episode he reveals just a little bit more of his backstory that explains his origins of Visinators of the week. Of course, we can't forget the most tragically ridiculous aspect of his backstory. Both of his parents didn't show up to his birth. Doof is of course a parody of the spy villain trope, with Perry the Platypus taking the role of his nemesis. It's this parody of the spy villain which has taken over from the traditional straight-laced, I'm going to take over the world because it will give me ultimate power, villain. Spy movies are some of the most parodied genres out there. Just look at Austin Powers and Dr. Evil, poking fun at all the Bond villains up to that point. The James Bond franchise currently holds the monopoly on spy villains, and that doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. Bond films portray two sides of the same coin, the misogynistic suave spy and the extremist classy villain. They are in many ways the same character, just on different paths. Gru from the Despicable Me franchise embodies this concept. He is both a villain and a hero rolled into one. He finds a joy in being evil, but also knows when to do the right thing, like when children are in danger. The spy villain has evolved to become a more family-oriented character. They no longer do things for the sake of being evil or proving a point. They now have other reasons for their acts, usually in the form of family, children, or spouses, etc. Even Doofenshmirtz has a daughter, Vanessa. One thing for certain, though, is that no matter how edgy the spy villain is, they will always retain their campiness.